What up, y'all, ladies and gentlemen? This is your boy Maka on the mic, Mr. Maka. How y'all doing today? The food for thought today is for us not to be self-entitled. People should stop being self-entitled. We look at things, we assume that we should have this thing. We should have this thing. People should do this to us. It is a wrong notion. It is a wrong way of living life. As long as you are on this planet Earth, the best way to be happy is to think of how to put the smile on someone else's face. That way you are happy. Why? Because then you realize that you have self-worth. If you don't know how to make yourself happy, try making others happy. Making others happy doesn't mean you have to give them what they want. Making others happy entails saying good words. Take for instance, good day, it's a beautiful day. That is making people happy. And then there's some people too that regardless of how hard you try to make them happy, they just don't want to get happy. These are the self-entitled people I'm talking about. I don't want to use swear words here because this is the first video I'm doing in 2019 and I'm not going to start using swear words. So back to what I'm saying about being self-entitled. All over the world we've got a lot of people who believe because of one thing or the other, they are supposed to get this thing. Take for instance now, people like us overseas and stuff like that. Sometimes you get to do stuff, you get to send things home and things. But some people just think, oh yeah, because I've known him, because this, that, I am entitled to stuff like this from him or from her. And when you do stuff eventually, they don't appreciate. That's one. Another one is when people take their time out to do stuff for people, not even overseas, around you. When people show concern in your life, regardless of how little they bring forward to you, as long as you didn't force them, you didn't wring their hands, you didn't twist their arms to bring for whatever they bring forward, you should appreciate this. An example is what just happened recently I was just on the computer checking my internet, and then I stumbled upon this story about the Duchess of Sussex with her husband, going down to the Bristol sex workers area in England. I don't know what that is. It's called 125. It's the 125. So they went down there to just for a visit, and they were packaging some food for these sex workers in the streets. And then Duchess of Sussex took it upon herself to write some inspiring messages, like words of encouragement, on a piece of fruit, which in this case was a banana. And what she wrote there wasn't bad. It's like you are special, you're strong, you're brave. These are good words, given out there. So, but the problem started from when one sex worker saw it and said, oh, this is not good enough. They should be doing more than that. The Duchess of Sussex can do better, blah, blah, blah. Yes, we know she can do better. But for crying out loud, this is just a self-appointed gesture. It is not something that she was paid to do or she is supposed to do in her office. When people take time to come out and do stuff for people, people should appreciate, regardless of how small or how big it is. Now, the offense is that not because maybe she wrote on a piece of fruit but because they feel as a princess or as a royal member of the royal family, she should do better. How about saying thank you? Because when people do stuff like if you're walking across the street and you're thirsty, in some area, in some part of the world, you can't walk up to your neighbor, you can't walk up to the person in the street and say, give me a cup of water, because you won't get it. So if the person as much as gives you a cup, goes inside his house, gives you a cup of water, you drink that water, even though you're expecting it to be cold. But for the gesture of giving you water, you drink it and you say, thank you. Maybe tomorrow you get a cold lemonade. The day after, next time you get maybe a soda or whatnot. But no, some people just don't know how to say thank you. All they can say is, oh, you can do better, or you should have done better, you should have done this, you should have done that. Whereas even those who are entitled to help them can't even lift a finger to help them. So the lesson for today is we should stop being self-entitled. It's a food for thought, and I feel like people should hear this, because when everyone starts being self-entitled, then that's a recipe for disaster. People think, oh, this person should be doing this for me, oh, that person should be doing this for me. Like there was this movie, a man was complaining to his father that he didn't do nothing for him. And his father said, what do you mean I didn't do nothing for you? I've done enough for you. He said, what? He said, I gave you your name. How about that? I gave you your name. So if a man's dad can say that, look, I've done everything for you by giving you your name, at least you're not an unknown person, then we should know. So if our family member, friends, whatnot, does something little, or a stranger does something little for you, don't think, oh, you should have done this, you should have done it better this way, and stuff like that. Especially, and this message goes out to most people too who expect everything, free services and everything. You people should take it easy. When someone does something for you, appreciate and thank God for it. This is 2019. This year is promised to be a good year. It's a promising year. So we should go out there and do for other people. Thank you very much.